Thank you. Did you know your chances of winning the lottery are 1 in 175 million? Your chances of your child getting cancer are 1 in 285. Every day, 43 families hear the 4 words that will change their lives forever. Your child has cancer. Those four words were said to my husband Mike and myself on August 26, 2013, when our then seemingly normal and playful 2.5-year-old daughter Brinley was diagnosed with leukemia. Before cancer, life was nearly perfect. We were blessed with our beautiful daughter Brinley in 2011, and then surprisingly, 17 months later, our adorable son Ryan came into this world. Brinley was as wild and rambunctious as they come. She was always the one climbing where she shouldn't be and couldn't stay still for more than 5 minutes. There she is over there. Things were definitely hectic with 2 small children, but I wouldn't have changed it for the world. In the summer of 2013, we were very busy, like any normal family, doing things that normal families do. Once in a while during the summer, Mike and I had noticed that Brinley's eyelids were slightly swollen. She certainly didn't seem sick, so we thought that she could possibly be allergic to sunscreen or pollen or something. On August 26th, summer was coming to an end. As a teacher, I was getting my classroom ready for the upcoming school year. When I got home that day, I looked at Brinley, and she just didn't look right. I said to Mike, let's see if the pediatrician can fit her in, because once work starts, there will hardly be any time to do anything. So Mike, Brinley, Ryan, and I went to the pediatrician. We had explained that her eyes had been slightly swollen, and we also saw that she was sweating in her sleep. The doctor decided to do blood work and a urine culture as she thought possibly a kidney infection. I remember after going to Applebee's and then going home. That wasn't significant then, but looking back, it was the last time I could truly say life was great and we didn't have a care in the world. At around 10:30 that night, our house phone rang. I looked at the caller ID and noticed it was Brinley's pediatrician. I knew at that moment something was wrong, but never imagined that what I was about to hear. The pediatrician said Brinley's blood work came back abnormal and we had to bring her to the hospital to redo it. I asked, tonight? And she said yes. I was sort of in shock and couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked her, what does this mean? And she said, I'd really rather not say on the phone. And I repeated myself, and she said, it looks like Brinley may have leukemia. I don't remember what really happened after that. I know I gave Mike the phone, and I think I went into the bathroom and just started praying, dear God, not my baby. It has to be a mistake. Mike got off the phone and started packing bags. I said, what are you doing? We're coming back. And he said, we don't know what's going to happen. I called a neighbor to watch Ryan until my mom got to the house. Mike and I went into Brinley's room. She was sleeping so peacefully, and all I kept thinking was this isn't happening. I didn't want to wake her. Our beautiful, innocent baby girl without a care in the world was about to begin the battle of her life. Mike carried her to the car, and I sat in the back just holding her hand and stroking her face as we drove to the hospital. That night, Brinley was poked so many times in her arms I lost count. She was screaming and crying as we held her down. Mike's parents met us at the hospital. We were all anxiously waiting. Brinley sat there and was so cute, making bookmarks for each of us. The doctor came in the room and said those 4 dreaded words. Your daughter has cancer, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. From that very moment, our lives would never ever be the same. We had just entered every parent's worst nightmare. Beginning that night, our baby girl lost her innocence and her carefree childhood. We were admitted to the hospital and our roller coaster ride began. The doctor shared that ALL cancer was the good kind because it was 80% curable. Looking back, it was a little comforting hearing that at that moment, but in all reality, there is no good cancer. Yes, we were fortunate that we weren't hearing she was terminal at diagnosis, but watching what our poor, precious baby went through was anything but good. Brinley's white blood count at diagnosis was 145,000. A normal child's is between 5 and 10,000. This put her in a high-risk category. ALL is extremely fast-moving. Treatment needs to begin immediately. Everything was happening so fast. On August 28th, treatment began. Brinley was given anesthesia, a lumbar puncture, spinal tap, bone marrow biopsy, biopsy, intrathecal chemo, which is chemo injected in your spine, port insertion surgery, and later that afternoon, 2 more chemos were given through an IV, along with starting steroids. Those first few days in the hospital are just unbearable. As parents, you are trying to be strong, but when no one is watching, you are crying hysterically, going through every emotion possible. Those first 11 days while we were inpatient was like a huge storm. You are getting a ton of information thrown your way, words you've never heard before. We had a 2-year-old who had no clue what was going on and just wanted to go home. Family members have to step in and help in a big way, and there, we were certainly blessed. We had a 15-month-old baby at home who required 24-hour care and just wanted his parents. We constantly needed things like clean clothes, food, and family and friends were always there. The saying goes, when one family member has cancer, the whole family does. This saying could not be more true. We couldn't have done it without all the support from the people sitting at our table tonight and other family members who are not with us tonight. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for putting your life on hold and helping us in any way you could. When we finally got back home, it was certainly not the same. Our house needed to be super clean, so Brinley didn't pick up any germs. Much of our time was spent administering multiple medications, back and forth visits to clinic for blood work and chemo, and being in the kitchen to try and get Brinley to eat and drink on her non-steroid weeks, and cooking anything she demanded on her steroid weeks. We also had little Ron to care for. Around day 14 of treatment, we received news of Brinley's cytogenetic report and discovered she had very complex chromosomes. This was very upsetting to hear, as doctors explained to us that her leukemia may be resistant to chemo, and if she wasn't in remission on day 29, that a bone marrow transplant would be inevitable. We were only 2 weeks into this, and a bone marrow transplant was already being mentioned. All we could do was pray that the chemo was working and she would be in remission. On day 29 with ALL, 95% of children are said to be in remission. They then continue to other phases of treatment, which takes anywhere from 2 to 3.5 years. The days leading up to biopsy days and waiting for results are full of anxiety. Unfortunately, we did not receive the news we were hoping for. Brinley was not in remission. She had an 8% minimal residual disease. 8% doesn't sound so bad, but it's extremely high. You can't help but feel defeated, but you must continue to have hope. Her doctors decided to move her to the next phase, and it was determined that she would need a bone marrow transplant. We actively began looking for a match. Finding a match is extremely difficult, but a few weeks later, we finally heard some amazing news. We had found a donor. Brinley's brother, our son, was a 100% match. The news brought me to tears. There was a reason Ryan came by surprise 17 months after his sister. He was going to be our one chance to save her life, but first, she still needed to get in remission. At the end of October, the doctors once again performed another bone marrow biopsy, and once again, we received disappointing news. Brinley still had 0.75% MRD. The news was like being punched in the stomach. All I kept thinking about was what the doctor said the night Brinley was diagnosed, that she had the good cancer and it was 80% curable, yet we were not falling under this category. At that point, we were being told that all standard chemo was used and we were down to a few options. Brinley's doctors decided to add an oral chemo called dasatinib in addition to her protocol. Dasatinib is a newer chemo, but has been very promising in helping patients like Brinley. Dasatinib and similar drugs have come to be because of the research funded by LLS.
Yes, it is.
Brinley was to do this for 2 months and repeat a bone marrow biopsy. On December 15th, we received the best news in the entire world. Brinley was finally in remission. On March 20th, 2014, Brinley received Ryan's cord blood, which we have saved when he was born. Doctors weren't confident it had enough cells, so the next day Ryan was put under and doctors took bone marrow from him and put it in Brinley. We were in the hospital for 51 days. Brinley handled her transplant amazingly. On March 20th of this year, our family celebrated Brinley's first birthday, and on March 21st, we celebrated Ryan's Superhero Day. During the journey, we tried never to use the word cancer or sick in front of Brinley. All we kept saying to her is that she was going to get better. Brinley is back to herself, but as a parent, life will never be the same. I'm blessed to say that some people never get to meet their heroes, but I gave birth to both of mine. candidates tonight. And now, please welcome to the stage another mother who I have the utmost respect for. Having gone through the same experience of seeing your child diagnosed with cancer, I think we are both glad to be here supporting LLS tonight. Please give a warm welcome to Sheila DePeter.